Yeah, it will be available on YouTube after the meeting is finished. And I just would note that we're not able to live stream it today for some reason. Thank you. I declare the meeting open at 3 o'clock. To duly and faithfully carry out our duties to the best of our advancement and ability, for the advancement of this district and the benefit of all of our community and fellow citizens. The Coorong District Council members acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional custodians of the land and waters, the Ngarrindjeri people, whose ancestral lands are on which we meet today. We acknowledge the deep feelings of attachment and relationship of Aboriginal people, the country, and pay our respects to elders past and present. We also extend that respect to all First Nation people. Thank you, councillors. Item 1 on this special meeting is apologies, and I have none, but I note that councillors Taylor and Roundtree are on the Zoom. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate Miles Summers next to me here for being appointed our new Director of Community and Corporate. So congratulations. That is just to replace the previous position, which was vacant. So all the best to you, Miles, in this role. So for the public's benefit, we now have a full complement of 2 directors and a CEO back in place in the organisation. Okay, councillors, we move to item 2, annual plan, adoption of the annual plan. Where's that gone for me? Item 2. Annual report. There's a recommendation, councillors. Do the councillors want some time to consider it in an open discussion first or not? Not getting any response.
Through you, Mayor.
Councillor Roundtree.
I think from my perspective, we've had a good look at this. There are some formatting things, just things that are being justified formatting that could possibly do with being left hand. Stop the word spreading so much, but I think it's actually a really good document. You guys have done a great job.
Okay, anyone else got any sort of questions around it and the words in it?
Mr. Mayor, just a quick.
Councillor Arthur.
I've got a couple of questions.
Get that mic closer to your snout.
There's no page number, so I can't tell you what page.
Top, yeah, there is page number.
Where?
Up the top on the right hand side.
This one?
Blue dot. Up the top corner.
Oh, under there. On the
In the
right,
staple.
to the left. Page 16. I'll just have a little bit more information on the monitor and contribute to roadside vegetation management plan. Roadside vegetation maintenance works have been carried out on numerous roads across the district. Landowner education awareness raising sessions have also been taking place. Could we just have a little bit of an explanation on that, please?
Matt? Good, Chair.
It's through you, Mayor. I'm not aware of the landholder education processes, and I'm hoping that's something that Tracy might be able to fill you in on.
CEO will assist you.
Correct. Some of the LAP programs have a feature of that in them. So this is a combination of all activity across the council, and some of the LAP programs were actually education for farmers around weed management that Sam Blythe conducted.
Yeah, but roadside, this is roadside management. This is entirely different to on farm.
It could have been out as 2 statements, but there was activity.
But through you, Mayor, the roadside vegetation tree trimming, slashing is ongoing. We've let a contract for numerous roads, and there's another section or another tranche of roads that will be cleared after summer. There is a program going to be put in place for ongoing roadside trimming. That will be a rolling program across the entire district.
And just
Your second one.
and I've just
First one.
to expand on that, the Native Vegetation Authority were having talks with local government regarding the actual clearing, making it a 10-year clearance on the side of the roads instead of a 3-year. Has anything kept going about that? Are we still working with the LGA or and through the original vegetation mob about it?
Yeah, through you, Mayor, I've been to 2 meetings, one through the MRLGA, the Murray Lands and Riverland LGA, and also I was invited to the Limestone Coast session that was held at Naracoorte to discuss the management of roadside vegetation and native veg across both regions, which was extremely, it was a fantastic meeting. It was road managers and vegetation environmentalists all in the same room discussing the challenges that we have from both points of view. At this point in time, there hasn't been any outcomes of that, but it's a work in progress, and there's going to be a working party set up, in particular the Limestone Coast local government association to manage roadside vegetation across the region.
The only trouble with these things, they seem to get in plans and they seem to get in the regional plans, and I think Councillor Bland and I attended a meeting about this 3 years ago, and it's still been only talked about. So, it'd be lovely to get some of these things on. When is for the country people, it's a bit of a love-hate relationship with vegetation, particularly on roadways.
Another point.
Second one is, could you just explain, or the CEO explain to me, revise and refresh the Coorong Blend? What is the plan
What
there?
page?
Oh, sorry. Page 18.
So the Coorong brand is everything, through you, Mayor, sorry, is everything you see from the logos that the outdoor staff have to when we do up a document such as this, which has got the logo, the colours, every isn't it hasn't been done for a couple of years now. It's about looking at it. Is it still fit for purpose? Is it still what this council wants? We may leave it now for another 12 months until the new council comes in, because it's one of those things where there's an opportunity to look at what is the brand that we currently have. Is it still something you want into the future? Is there any tweaking with it? Do you want to add any extra colours into the palette? All those things that make the documents look like they belong to Coorong District Council, and the people who work in the council belong to council.
Okay, thank you. And the last one is page 21. We've got all the planning development details there. Would be nice to have a actual dollar figure on how much is actually been these development applications add up to.
Through you, Mayor, that's a good point, Councillor, and we are trying to start to put some of that information into the info doc on a monthly or 3 monthly basis, and we actually put numbers in there now, but there's probably nothing stopping us from putting some dollar value around that. Miles can.
So our issue, through you, Your Worship, is really being the data we're getting from the portal. So we have to, it has actually, the portal for all councils hasn't had a full 12 months, so, and they're still putting together their sort of data set. So from here on in, I expect better data, and as the CEO said, being able to produce it on a monthly basis. So definitely we'll put it.
Okay. That's all.
Any other questions around this annual report? Councillor Qualman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Page 27, second paragraph on the right-hand side, near the bottom of the paragraph, it says the former facilities were demolished in July 2021 and the landscaping remediation works will ensure in early 2021-22. Now, I thought we've had all the works done, or we're still going to do some more works in 22.
You Mayor, remembering this report goes to the 30th of June. So it's a point in time. So some of that remediation work didn't happen until after the 30th of June. So that's just flagging that there was more to be done, but it has already been done. Because this report is now, we're now in November, but it's actually a snapshot of what happened in the 2021 year.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Okay, is someone prepared to move the recommendation? Councillor Qualman, you want to move? Councillor Rountree. The recommendation is that council adopts the 2020-21 annual report, and also that it adopts the audited general purpose financial statements and notes forming the part of the statements for the year ended the 30th of June 2021, and that's as attached to the 2021 annual report. Councillor Coleman, you want to speak to your motion?
Just saying it's pretty comprehensive, and Mr. Mann, let's get on with it. Thank you.
Good. Councillor Rountree, you want to add?
No, I just follow up with what Councillor Coleman said. I think that's actually a really good report, and I like the way it was set out. So thank you to the staff who put it together.
Any other councillor wish to enter debate? We'll close, councillor.
I'll close it.
Right,
Thank you,
I put the motion. All those in favour? Those against, that's carried unanimously. The next item is up here. The long-term financial plan, item 3, councillors, and there's a recommendation there.
Happy to move that way.
Councillor Yench is the mover of that. Is there a seconder for the purpose? Don't rush me. Councillor Lang, thank you. So, councillors, got any questions at this stage, perhaps, before we move into some formal debate around the long-term financial plan? The draft long-term financial plan 21-22 to 2030-31 be endorsed for the purpose of community engagement.
Mr Mayor, I just got one
Councillor
question,
Arthur.
which I did ask before, that we've got page 158, capital expense, new assets. We've got $39 million we're going to spend on renewal of over the 10-year period, of course. Renewal of road infrastructure. And it says that including 20 million for unsealed roads and 19 million for unsealed roads. So can we find out
A lot of
which
unsealed roads,
which is
yeah.
getting the most money at this stage?
So
Sealed or unsealed?
you just want the one that's got the most money, councillor?
Oh, well, make the 30 mine for unsealed. I'll be happy.
That sounds like it's a grammatical error. We'll check on that.
Yeah, it is. But
Typo, councillor. And
just talking to James before, and it's good to be able to sit down and talk to stuff like that. You know, like, I'm still a little bit worried about this because we still haven't got up-to-date depreciation figures. Now, is it, and this is probably to the CEO, when we do finally get the up-to-date depreciation figures, will we then look at maybe revising this for 12-month period, or will we leave it for this 12-month and do it again when we've got to do it with the next financial plan?
you want to have a go first?
The plan will be revised whenever there's a trigger that we think it should be. So if once Matt and the asset management plans, and as I said before, are all in place and we have an understanding of what's in them, it could be March, April of next year before we have that understanding. It may not be any point in revising it until the 12 months are up, or if we think it's significant enough, we'll have that discussion and come back to you and say we're going to revise them because we think it's significant. So there is no set rules. There are some set rules about the frequency, but if you want to do it more, then we're perfectly free to do that. Bearing in mind this is a whole lot of work. So it'll be about the materiality of the change.
Councillor Qualman.
Thank you. Your question, Mr Mayor, through you to the CEO. I interpret this as a living, constant revolving document, activity, if you want to call it. And so these figures on depreciation, they'll be tinkered with and could be, at any time we can revisit it and implant it into the system. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So you mean?
Recalibrated, councillor.
That's it. Thank you.
I think it sounds a bit interesting.
Absolutely. And it's a living document, and as any planning is want to be, by tomorrow, there are some things out of date in there. So
Yes.
it's a matter again about the materiality and keeping an eye on it. But it's one of those documents that you use to guide your decision making over the next 10 years. But it doesn't lock you into anything.
Anyone else with questions? Councillor Yench, you want to speak to your motion then?
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. I think the plan overall is very good. As has been indicated, it is a living document. It is something that we can vary as the council needs as it progresses. I am particularly delighted with the fact that it is also included the previous council's figures in line with the current way of recording things. So it gives us a clear understanding of where we have come from as to where we are going. And to me, it indicates very clearly that we are headed in a steady, safe path. We do have risks, and risks are the fact that we may not receive the government grants that we've been assuming and receiving in the past, because we have done exceptionally well. We may have significant weather events. We have not had anything for some time. That may impact our road infrastructure dramatically. And all in all, the whole process is moving forward very solidly. So, Mr. Mayor, I have a lot of satisfaction in where we're headed.
Thank you. Councillor
Thank you
Ling,
to staff.
you want to move? Say anything.
No, the report is quite comprehensive and it's quite good.
I reiterate, it is for public consultation, councillors. Anyone else wish to join the debate? You'll close, councillor.
Closed.
So the recommendation is that for the draft long-term financial plan for 21-22 to 2030-31 be endorsed for the purpose of community engagement. Councillors, please, all those in favour? Those against? That's carried unanimously. Okay, councillors, I think that's the only items on the agenda today. Thank you. We close the meeting at 3:15.
That was quick for you, bud.
Cheers.
Out of the light.